I'm gonna get started in a minute. Let me just find the post where I talked about this. All right, I'm just gonna give people like 1 or 2 minutes to join, and if they do, great. If not, I will. I'll just kick this off. So just bear with me for a minute. Okay, I am going to kick this off now. If people join, great. If not, okay. So windsurf. So for those who aren't technical, this is integrated development environment or something like that. This is, I guess, where programmers write software programs. What I want to show is how I am using AI to do like bulk changes in WordPress and things like that. So a couple things. The first one is I have this. So Windsurf is an AI agent IDE. So this is where you do all the programming. And then this over here is a chat called Cascade, which you can see here uses, here we're using Claude 3.7 thinking. And this can write code, follow instructions, etc. Now I have a prior discussion that I did a whole bunch of really cool stuff with. And I'm not going to go through all of this, but towards the end, I had it write a kind of prompt to help me kind of kickstart a new chat. I think this is it. Let's see. Nope. Okay, yeah. So this is probably the most recent one. So I'm copying this, and then we're clicking the plus sign, and we are now starting a new conversation. And I want to just quickly show you guys something before I even kick this off. So this is me chatting with an AI tool that is able to code, write files, etc. This is a website. All of these files here. So like this is a script. This is all written by AI. I have no idea what it does, to be honest. But what I'm doing is I'm using natural language to chat with the tool and then having it go ahead and do a bunch of stuff. So this prompt is supposed to initialize the overall AI tool. So I'm going to hit enter and let's see what happens. So what I basically told it to do is, hey, I have a README file, which was created by the AI. And let's see if we can find it down here. And you could start with none of this, by the way. This is just me messing around and experimenting. But here's README. So this file basically gives a summary of the capabilities that we kind of built in. Now, for example, there's a .env file here, which has my credentials, which allows it to access different systems. In WordPress, there's files here that can fetch content. So what we essentially told it to do here is I said we kind of have this toolkit. Here's the file folder where you'll find it. And then I basically told it to examine the README file and a few of these other files to kind of, and I'm looking at this now and I realize this isn't necessarily what I even want, but right now what it's doing is it's opening each of these files and analyzing it. And then it's coming back to me and telling me, here's some of the capabilities I have. So I could do an analysis, I could fetch keywords, I could process URLs and normalize them. And then here it's saying that I can integrate with other things I haven't integrated with yet, like data for SEO APIs, data science integrations. That seems interesting. So it just wrote all this code here and made some recommendations of how to improve this, but I don't actually want to do any of this stuff. Right now, what I want to do is tell it to go to Search Console for the domain lawsuitlegit.com and download URLs that are discovered but not indexed, and save them in a CSV file. Let's see if it successfully does that. So bear in mind, it's a new chat. So it's kind of looking at, so here's its thinking, looking at kind of the files we have. So it looked at this file called fetch not indexed, which prior it wrote, and now it just gave me a terminal command where if I click accept, this should go ahead and download the file, assuming the script works. So it says didn't find any URLs. So now it wants to look at the file it created and figure out what happened. In a minute, I might tell it to just do something a little cleaner. Oh, look, here, it was able to fetch some data here. Let's see what it got. Oh, so it's pulling data from a file I have. So I'm going to stop this right now because I don't want to go down this path. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, let's look at a specific file. So I'm saying at files, and now I want to take, so we have these WordPress files. So those would start with a WP at the end. So here, let's do, so this would be files : WP _ fetch posts. Run this file. Let's see if it actually manages to run that file. It should write a terminal command. So something got blocked there. Now this has worked in the past, so I'm not sure what the issue is. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, it's getting some sort of error message. I'm going to stop it. Okay, and now we're going to do this a little differently. At files : readme. Write a script that confirms you can connect to my WordPress site, lawsuitlegit.com, with the application password credentials and the dot. Let's see if it successfully writes the script. Right now, I'm just asking it to confirm that it's able to connect programmatically to my WordPress site, which I'll show in a minute that it has been able to do that in the past. It's with these enriched files under data. Show you an example. Actually, WP data is a better example. So here is an old file. I'm going to have it just run this and see if it works. So it's running into some sort of error here, and hopefully it resolves itself. It's an agent, so it should figure it out. But here I have a bunch of URLs, and I then had it append some data from Search Console, like impressions, clicks, etc. So this file here, analytics with coverage latest, I could tell it to analyze it, but I would actually maybe use this, which is a JSON format. So it's a little cleaner, which has all this information about every blog post. So what I want to attempt to do is demonstrate a bulk change to the site to see if it lets me. Oh, and look, this successfully connected. If you can see this here, a total posts 4403. So it connects. So we successfully connected to the site. So, but it's now trying to fetch, discover, not index. That's not what we want it to do. Let's have it. Let's have it fetch information about. No, let's try this. Are there any posts on the website that mention car accidents in the body of the post, but are not in the category car accident? And I'm just not positive if that's the right category, so I'm just going to quickly look something up because I did have it fetch categories in the past. So categories. All right, car accident lawsuits. And it's category 499. Let's see how it tries to solve this question, right? Because there's 4,400 posts on the site. And I just asked it to write some sort of script. Let's kind of see what it's doing in real time. So it's creating a file here called find car accident posts. So some sort of Python script. So let's quickly scroll down here. And let's see if we can see it here. Find car accident posts. So it just wrote a script. The description, the script analyzes WordPress post finds that mention car accidents in their content, but are not categorized under the car accident lawsuits category. And this is interesting. It appended terms for car accident. I mean, it would be nice if it had like truck accident, but still, certainly interesting that it did that. Now it's asked me to run it. So let's run it. And it generated some sort of CSV that has the file saved. And it wouldn't be over here. It will probably be maybe it would be in this. Well, I don't know where it would have it saved, honestly. Oh, here we go. Car accident mentions. And it's in WP data. So let's see here, car accident mentions. See, look, it just found all the blog posts on the site that mention car accidents in the post. Takes real, and it has the post, the ID of the post, which is what you need to change it, it has the title, URL, publish date, category names, excerpts. So this right here is probably every post, but let's look at category names, which is just lawsuit here, lawsuit. So the red, you see how it's kind of color coded? So category names is brownish, reddish. And bear in mind, I'm learning as I go. But you got all of these posts here that are under a different category. So I'm going to accept this because it's doing an analysis. But I'm going to actually tell it in a minute to, so it found 94 posts according to this. Looks about right. So I'm going to ask it to do the following. So now it's actually doing an analysis to get the distribution. That's interesting. I didn't ask it to do it, but 67 of them are under the category personal injury lawsuits, which is the parent category to car accidents. 12 are under open lawsuits. Some of these have multiples. And what I'm going to ask it to do now, oh, it's already, let's create a script to help you recategorize these posts if needed. So it's right now writing a new script, which wouldn't be in the data file. It would be over here somewhere. It's called recategorize, so it's alphabetical. So let's go down to R and see if it's here yet. Here we go, just popped up, recategorize. So it just wrote a script that I don't like that it pulled my credentials in there. Hopefully no one noticed that. But let's see. So it's going to thoroughly analyze them some more. I'm not sure what it's trying to do here. So of the 94, 80 something of them, 82 it believes belong in that category. Now the reason why these are miscategorized, if you want to know, is I use ZimWriter to create some of these posts, and in the past I couldn't have ZimWriter actually send it to the right. I could only choose one category, and if I was writing 1,000 posts or a few hundred posts in a shot, it wasn't going to do a good job. So I don't actually want to do an analysis here. I just want to clean it up. So I'm going to hit reject. I'm just going to say, go ahead and add the car accident lawsuit category to those pages, to those posts, and remove the other categories. Then refetch those posts with the categories and show that it is updated correctly. So let's see how it does. I just basically told it to do it. I guess it wants to do this analysis. Now, maybe there's other tools out there in WordPress that make this easy, and maybe this is hard, but what I'm amazed by is I could sit here and just think of ideas and chat with AI. And because I'm in a coding environment, it could write code. And because I have authentication information here, credentials, it could then connect to the internet and actually make changes and deploy changes. Now you might notice here there's some things here called MCP keywords. That's because there actually is a better way to do what I'm doing. But I'm only recently kind of in the category of really understanding it. So what it's basically doing is it's going to, actually, you know what? I might just tell it to do all of them. Let me see. So what I need to figure out is Cascade's working in the terminal here. So I need to figure out how to view Cascade's terminal, the one that it's in. And let's see if I can figure it out. I mean, I know I can open the terminal. I'm almost positive there's a way. Yeah, I don't want to break anything, so maybe I'll just let it do what it's doing. So this is something called update. Okay, so this is not safe what I'm doing because my it should be referencing my credentials file instead of leaking the credentials. Maybe I shouldn't say that in here, so some AI tool can't extract it from the video. I guess I'm just hoping you guys don't do that. Anyway, let's see what happens here. So it's creating a new script to verify the results to see if it succeeded, but we could technically manually check this too. Now, I click accept all here just to kind of accept the changes it makes, but I don't need to do that. Now I'm going to tell it, I can also, right now I have it set to not auto run, but let's see what it says here. It keeps on getting this Unicode characters and verification script error. I don't know what that is. But let's let it, I guess it changed 3 rows. Let's see how this does. Now, some of this is just complicated because I've been messing with this so much. But what I could quickly show you is if I go back to like, all right, well, let's quickly look at this over here. Okay, it says 100% of them were correctly categorized. So right now, it only ran it on 10 instead of all 84. Or so this is actually a mistake. It should be 74 because, or actually, I don't know. But all right, we confirmed it works. So let's have it go. I don't know what this error is, but I'm sure it'll figure it out and get back to me. So you have this WP data here. And what I have is I've enriched some of my data with like this file here. So I've got a post right here, post ID 1873, title, it's got the slug, it's got the full URL, it's got my publish date, and it's got my modified date, it's got my status, it's got an excerpt from it, it's got the feature media ID, and then it's got all these categories. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 categories and one tag. It's, some of this is really superfluous or extra. So one of the things I want to do is I want to clean up all my categories. But then I had it pull Search Console data and add it into the JSON. So, this post had 14,000 impressions, 52 clicks. The URL type is it's a post versus a category or a page or a tag. One of the things is that there's, it normalized some data from Search Console because like maybe it was getting traffic to like a deeper, like a hashtag, like internal link on the page section. And so I have a script somewhere here that kind of normalize that data. Then go down to the next kind of step. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take this file. Once this is done, so it's a little strange that it was running, so it's asking to kind of check the progress. Let's see what's happening here. So there's some logging that it's supposed to be building in to track changes. And so that's where it ran into an error. So I guess this could run in the background, but I think we just made about 94 edits to posts programmatically, assuming it's working. Sometimes these could get caught in a loop and then you want to just start a new conversation. But if we looked at my kind of enriched post section, there's a whole bunch of posts here that are in too many categories, or I have redundant categories like Camp Lejeune lawsuit and Camp Lejeune water, right? Those definitely don't need to exist. And also Camp Lejeune, right? Now, the truth is Camp Lejeune's over with. I don't care so much about those. I could archive all those posts. Also, it's in resources. I don't know why it needs to be there. But I guess we'll let this run a little bit and then I'll show another change. But going back to kind of pulling in the Search Console data. Now I might try to do something a little clever. That might not work so well. Let's see. So far 30 have been updated. We'll see if we can get the rest done quicker. Something else I did with this kind of like, because I'm programmatically working with the data, is I added, so here's Search Console data. So URLs and then clicks, impressions, click-through rate, position. I had it in some cases append, and let's see if I can find it. One of these files should have all the keywords. Here we go. Search Console keywords. So we have this post here, and appended to the information about the post, we have, here's the keywords that Search Console has shown you got impressions for or clicks for. And then, and you see it's a pretty big list there. I could then, because I now have that field here, go ahead and tell it to, I don't know, using those keywords, suggest a better title for the page. Or a better URL. And then I also had it fetch keywords by looking at the content of the posts and create those keywords. And let's see if we can find an example of that. So I don't know where it ended up. This was an interactive session that, back and forth that I had, and it's just saving all these things. And obviously, if I want it to be a little more structured, I can ask it to do that. So here's like a coverage drill down of posts and the last time that they were crawled. And so I could do things with that as well. Obviously, the end goal is where you have an agent doing all this optimization on your own. And that's kind of where MCPs come in play. MCP server SEO. So I haven't used these yet, but let's look at this. So, MCP servers are basically a way to give a specific tool to an AI tool. And specifically within coding, I could do that here. I don't know. So it's nice that they have this kind of database of servers, but This is a cursor file. I wonder if the source has the actual, but these would be like, so like I'm free form, basically saying I have access to all these files. Let's do what I can here. But in reality, you know what? I'm going to try to do something here. Let's see what happens. I guess it's working on this other issue. But anyway, the point is that you can, you know, find keywords, look for things. You know, an example is so MCP servers. So you know, they're starting to pop up. I've become popular. So I wanted to find MCP keywords. And so I have Google Ads connected to this. It created these kind of MCP seed keywords because by searching for some URLs, and then it was supposed to run it into Google Search Console, into Google Ads and get me kind of keywords. But what's interesting is there's like very low volume for most of these. And I don't know if they're going to grow or not, or they're going to grow exponentially. Like a lot of these show zero. You know, the only thing that really shows anything is like, you know, MCP server at 480 searches in aggregate. So I don't know if these things are going to turn into something really popular, but if you see right here, MCP, I can actually add an MCP file MCP config into Windsurf, which I guess would then allow it to access a specific MCP server. So instead of me writing these scripts that may or may not work, someone somewhere created an actual script that actually works for a specific use case. In this case, it's Google Custom Search Engine, but I'm sure if I scroll through this, I could see, okay, there's a whole marketing section. What do we got here? SendGrid, okay, so it's just like email stuff. Or, but technically MCPs can solve this. Social media, what could it do here? So I could listen. Ooh, that looks interesting. So this is the MCP server. Here's the README. I'm just curious what happens here. If I just do this, open up a terminal. So I just installed this MCP server that's supposed to let me interact with Reddit. So there are other ways to do this, but the point is that you don't have to write code to have software write. You know, it's literally sitting here writing all this code for me. And then it's doing all this analysis and saving it into CSV files. And I could then do all sorts of analysis against the data. And, you know, whatever I could think of, I could probably do. And all I had to do was set up, you know, a few connections. So like for WordPress, all you have to do is log into your WordPress site. And create an application password under users. So go to users, and then let's just say I take, well, let's just take myself here. Edit myself as a user. Scroll down all the way down to the bottom. There's something here called application password. And I can add a new application password. It looks like I already have one here. And let's just call this Windsurf WP. And I just created that. Oops. I'm going to revoke this because I just exposed it. You know what? Anyway, that's the demo of how you could do WordPress stuff. Hopefully this helps. And let me see if I can even figure out how to get out of here and turn this off. And stream.